Welcome back. This is our podcast. It's called Mining Diamonds, where we get up all in your business because we are all about business. Show where we're trying to teach you the real meaning of generational wealth and want you to understand what financial literacy is. That's for you to understand what that money is. You hear? So we got a couple guests. You want to put them on to the guests we got, or you just want to pop up?
I think today's guests are really great because they have great insight into the music world, media. They cover both. We have Rob Markman, who's an esteemed journalist, rapper, creator, writer, and then we have Melanie McClain, who's got great insight into the NFT space and a music executive doing great things. So I think this is going to be a really great show today.
I'm excited because there's so much that I need to learn.
Yeah, we're going to soak up the jewels because they know shit that I don't know. So I'm on it.
I'm hyped.
You know,
I'm looking forward to it. Because this is your thing. You all about the NFTs.
Yes, I know a little bit about it.
You know all about the music industry.
I know a little bit about it.
A little bit.
I'm a jack of all trades. They say a jack of all trades is usually a master of none, but better than a master of one.
It's so funny.
What?
Of things about many things than just be stuck in one thing. But I guess that's, to me, you know what? So basically, right in the intro, Jim was like, he's a master of, what is it?
I'm a jack of all trades, and that's usually the master of none, but usually better than the master of one.
And I was like, yeah, that kind of applies to today because you got to be like, both of you guys are multi-hyphenates, you know? Like Rob, people know you from being like the face of Genius and, you know, always out there interview for a long time, you know? And then you're also a writer, you know, and then you have like your ventures in that, but you're also a musician, you know, so there's that. And then, you know, you're moving into production, you know, and so in Melanie, you're a music executive, but you really opened up inside the NFT space. And really, like, I follow you for that insight, you know, especially on NFTs and not just being able just to up, you know, basically to mint an NFT and just sell it, you know what I'm saying? But also the utility and community part of it, which is really great. So this episode really, to me, is like the future of what music and media is because it's all combining tech, media, music. It's all combining to this one thing. And it seems like it's leveling the playing field for all independents. And it's just going to be great.
Yeah, we want to know how do we make money in this new industry? I'm just saying, like, how do you make money in this new industry?
You sitting next to this guy, like
you sitting next to
all
money.
the bags. You smell like money.
I don't level up in the next year, goddamn.
You smell that? It smell like some money.
Nigga, I'm broke, baby. I'm broke.
Nah, I mean,
but
you know,
the businesses are popping.
I'm learning. I'm here to learn.
I think it's multiple hustle. Like even more so, the game is wide open, more than it ever was. You know, I always remember the famous quote from Dame in the early Rockefeller days, and being a kid and not maybe understanding, but he was like, "Yo, we not selling music, we selling you lifestyle." You know, and they showed us through every step of the way, right? Like it was, you know, first it was them not getting the Iceberg deal and creating Rockaware, and then it's Armadale Vodka, and then, you know, now it's Ace of Spades. Now it's, you know, like I don't think Jay gets to a billion. I know he doesn't get to $1 billion just being a rapper,
right?
You know, arguably the greatest, right? One of the greatest, right? He diversified his hustles, you know. So I think now it's more accessible for us. You know, like you don't necessarily have to be on the Jay-Z level to just diversify, you know, your portfolio, how you're hustling, where you're getting money from, you know?
What's a portfolio look like for the average person? Like, because usually that's left to the money man, the stock portfolio, all your investments. Right. But for the average Joe, what does that look like? Diversify
your time,
your
like what you do with the time. The time is the most
valuable asset we have.
Like, and you know, it as a resource, like time you can never get back. You can get money, lose money. Like you'll never get time back. Like
Facts.
Yesterday is gone. So, you know, when I say diversify your portfolio, and I'm not a Wall Street person at all. So I'm speaking more so of how you invest your time and the things that you invest your time in. The things that you know, back to the opening quote, the things that you choose to master, the things that you hustling.
So how did that quote, like, how did that impact you directly? How did that shape you, right? How did you figure out what you wanted to do in your life, you know, hearing that? Like, how did you decide to diversify
Well,
your portfolio?
I just knew. I always knew music was my thing and my love. Like, you know, the thing about me as a creative person and how I've been able to be successful and luckily is being involved in things that I love. So it got to come from my heart first. And some people are blessed. Like, if my heart isn't in it, then I can't spend my time doing it.
Right.
Some people are really blessed that they could just kind of hustle. Like, I don't necessarily gotta love this. Like, I could just hustle. Like, for me, everything starts with my heart and the passion. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, look, Kia knows. I guess, you know, we revealed. Like, I thought I was gonna come into the game being a rapper, being a musician. I used to be at your apartment recording with Probe, and you know, before anybody knew who I was, before working at XXL, before working at MTV. But media ended up being the door for me. Right. You know, I started, you know, writing for Vibe album reviews and writing for Complex album reviews and getting a job at XXL. XXL took me to MTV. Writing album reviews.
Just writing when you wanted to be on the other side.
Because I just wanted to be
in it.
I just wanted to be around music. Like, it was like, all right, well, first of all, also the writing was paying me way more than the rapping was at that point. So it's like, you know, I guess there was some hustling because it was just like, well, shit, you gonna pay me this for this? And, you know, this is the dollar word era.
I was about to say, how much were you getting for a word?
Yeah, dollar word. You know what I'm saying? Starting, like, you know, the more established writers at the time, $1.50. Some people was getting $2 a word.
So them articles that was in the middle of Vibe, somebody was getting paid $1 word for them long ass Tupac articles and stuff like
I
that.
miss that era.
Yep.
At least.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
See, I came in blog era. So like when I was a writer, I was a blog writer for like Saint Laurent. So I missed the whole print era. Like, I've never been written in print. I was only online. So I'm jealous. I'm definitely jealous.
Saint Laurent is
Solange.
Yeah,
so like back 2000, I don't know, 13, 14, she basically like launched this like collective that now we're all, you know, music executives at, you know, Epic or, you know, where I'm at now secretly. But back before, like, you know, back when like Kilela, before she popped, or talking about people like Kate Trinata and Kali Uchis, like those tastemaker type of things. But that was all online. But at the same time, I wasn't living in New York at the time. So that was also an era where you can find great talent anywhere and say, hey, do you want to write for this publication? You didn't have to be in New York or LA. So like, that's a good thing about me coming from that blog era, that I didn't have to be here, or I might not have had the formal, I might not have went to NYU or something, but I still got those opportunities.
That's like a generational shift to come from printed magazine, and then it's the blog era. So it's really defining, like, you're from the printed magazine era, you're from the blog era, and now we're in a whole different era.
Yeah, I'm a Tumblr baby.
Wow.
Yeah,
Tumblr.
But it's also recognizing. I think one of the things, even though I came from the print era, you know, you start to feel when the money dry up, when like, this isn't great business anymore to be in print media. Like, so I had to boil down. I know a lot of people who were in the print era, and when magazines started to go away, they didn't know how to adjust or do anything else. Right. Because they were so used to the magazines and the process. And what you really have to ask yourself, what I had to ask myself is, what am I? Am I a print journalist? Now I'm a storyteller. So I'm just going to take my storytelling abilities somewhere else. So when the internet opened it up, again, you know, you just kind of shifted and changed with the times.
But like for the businesses, because I think the same thing happened with publishing that happened with music, right? So when Spotify first was starting to launch, record labels wasn't feeling it, right? They were like, they didn't want to get involved with streaming because they felt like it would cannibalize their actual physical sales of albums. Publishers didn't want to get into blogging because it would cannibalize the actual
physical sales,
magazine. And for a publication like Vibe, right, that was like the magazine, that oversized print publication was the shit. That's what people knew and loved. And so it was like, it was a period where they didn't want to switch over. They didn't really want to dive into digital. But at the same time, it was like, but print, it's like 30 days, right, for publication. By the time the journalists, they write the article, you get it through print, shit was already on Perez Hilton.
I'll say
it was already done. Nobody cared.
And this happened to me. I forgot. But let's just say exactly what you're saying. Let's say I'm working for XXL and I interview Jim. Jim is about to drop an album. It's press day. We're doing print. XXL, I interview Jim, and then somebody, let's say for shout out to Chuck Creekmore or hiphop.com, interviews Jim the same day.
Right.
we might get the same information. Like we might hit the same talking points. I gotta wait 30 days for you to read my article. Chuck could put it out the next day, somebody on the blog. So magazines were in the business of selling old information.
Right.
You know, but the true shift happened with the money, because you always got to follow the money.
Always.
The real thing is where the advertisers spending. Is once the advertisers found more value online than they did on that printing page, that's when the money starts shifting. So, you know, at least in the publishing and in the media game, you got to follow the advertising money, because the game goes wherever the advertising money goes.
Yeah,
you know,
does.
and even now, look at deal. You know, look, man, Sweetie got a McDonald's commercial.
Like, we're talking about
you
that.
know what I'm
Meg Thee
saying?
Stallion got
Yeah.
Hottie Sauce.
Yeah, Hottie Sauce.
J Balvin and also Travis Scott dropped McDonald meals.
Right.
I mean, like, it's a shift, because now, as you say, the publishing and the media game, you're looking at it now. Right now, you're looking at another shift, and the shift is going from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0. You know, and also the value of music. Where's that going? Because, you know, to be honest with you, like, once Spotify and streaming hit, you saw like the value of music take a real hit.
Well, no, music was devalued.
Yeah.
Like literally, like a song. Look, we come from the era. I come from the era of going to the Wiz. Nobody beats the Wiz or something, and buying a single for $4, right? Yours was 99 cents. Mine was $4, right?
Right,
On some
right.
Jay-Z shit. CD singles, whatever. CDs cost $10.
I used to go to HMV every
How much
Friday.
does music cost now?
Nothing.
I
It
don't-
costs a subscription
Yeah, but
service.
it's in value for who? Because the artists make more money now than they
Right.
did back then. I mean, you
Off
got
the music?
You got people that will argue, but yeah, the artists now are getting way more money than we was when we was back then. These artists that streaming and booming, and these new kids that's buzzing, they knew how to monetize those numbers. That's why the labels were in the back, and then that's why you had a person like Ghazi who figured out how to monetize the money from these new artists who was figured out how to keep the money in your pocket, to show how to label, how to get some of this new money. Since CDs were going, they were kind of lost for a minute. That's why Empire was in the lead when it comes to monetizing that money. So for the artists, it was never devalued, because they figured out how to keep making big dollars. Now you got these young artists that averages a deal of $1 million with no sweat, $2 million with no sweat, just because they can produce numbers that on the computer from their streams and stuff like that. These kids are getting super paid right now. Like, not a bunch of them too, a bunch of them. I'm talking about shitloads of money, to the point that they don't know what to do with it. It's crazy.
But this also speaks to the shift, just like everything, just like like we just said, media and publishing, music. I mean, now there's no more production cost. You know, you don't need to pay for CDs. Now it's more instant. And now with streaming, you have a worldwide audience. Because, you know, back in the days, there was like, you had to have separate launch days for this. Like, think about film. Like, right now, they're doing worldwide releases. Like, you would think they would have done that a long time ago, but they couldn't. They, you know, I remember the film drops maybe in July here in the States, but it doesn't drop until Christmas, until fucking the UK. You know, now everything is instant. You have a global audience in your hand. All you got to do is figure out how to tap into them. And so we're now seeing this other shift into NFTs for music, because it seems like that's a way for music to get the value back. You know, like that.
Well, the artists to get the value.
The artists to get the value.
And what I was speaking on, not to, because Jim is absolutely right, and Jim, like, that's your business. Like, Jim knows that, I think, better than anybody at this table. But literally, the cost of a song, the cost of a CD, what that transactional cost is you pay Spotify. You don't own that anymore, right? As a fan, we all have the same music collection in our phones. It's $10 a month if you use Spotify, Apple, Tidal, whatever you choose. But yeah, I think the NFT space is going to allow fans to participate and have transactions with artists again in a way that's like super meaningful and equitable, and could be equitable for the fan,
And
as much as it is for the artist. You know what I'm saying?
So how do the labels make money? Like, if this is a benefit for the artist, how does that label win?
Well, I'm not
The
concerned with how
label is always going to win.
But they
Anytime an artist does something to make money, they label pays them more money.
yeah.
But here we got an
And-
NFT 360
And
deal.
it's gonna come in the
they'll
same-
adjust the contracts.
Real quick.
No,
that,
and
shit
it's
ain't
gonna
about,
be
the-
that shit ain't about shit but $1.
And it's gonna be the same way. It's kind of like when it came to like these rappers popping up on like YouTube or TikTok, right? If there's gonna be an artist who's really selling them well onto NFTs and they're doing music,
They
in
gonna pay
3
'em
months
for it.
we're gonna see deals off of the person who's number one on the music OpenSea chart is gonna get a deal the same way we saw 2 years ago. Someone with 200,000 TikTok videos, the same way, you know, Young Boy got his deal. It's the same way that, you know, a TikTok artist. It's the labels are always going to follow who's winning.
They gonna
That's
give you
always
the
going to
money.
be a thing.
You make $1 million as an artist, label gonna give you $5 million. You make $1 million as an independent artist, the label gonna give you $5 million because they know you're gonna make $5 million.
And the big thing about kind of like when it comes like way streamings work and NFTs is the same way when pop came out. Now we have drill artists in Ghana, we have drill artists in France, Poland, everywhere, right? Just because if you're on World Star, we all can watch World Star on YouTube. That's the same thing how crypto is, right? One Ethereum is the same if you live in Lagos, if you in Poland, if you live in South London, if you live in the Bronx. One Ethereum is one Ethereum. Therefore, you have one Ethereum. Someone has an NFT that costs 0.08 ETH. You can afford it.
But
just like one YouTube account, you know?
Let's go back to, you said, making it equitable for the artist as well as the audience. Like
Totally.
how would that work? Like,
I mean, I think the best way to make it like good for both is kind of like it's the same time you might have the best album ever, but back in the CD era, you would sell it for $10, $20, right? You're not going to say my album's so good. I'm going to, like, everyone's not Nipsey, right? You know?
But that's what that's just what this space is all about. Like, it ain't about making it affordable or convenient for the person. If I feel my art is that much of a bomb and you feel that I'm that much of a bomb, I'm going to put a premium on this for people to buy into what they feel is a bomb. And I'm not saying everybody can do that, but Jay-Z can put an album out right now and charge $1,000 for a Jay-Z album. And he might sell 1 million of those Jay-Z albums and stuff like that because people believe in Jay-Z and his brand. He's a billionaire. Well, shit, I'm going to spend $1,000 for this new Jay-Z album, NFT and shit like that. I'm going to hold it because we all know it's going to accumulate money and shit. It's going to turn in value and shit like this. Is going to turn into a money maker. So it depends on, and that's what I'm saying. This space of NFT is the most creative space ever because, as she says, let's make it like when HMV was out. He's selling $10 CDs. But for us, it's like, well, we've been robbed for so many years in this industry. I want my art to be just as good as Da Vinci's. And how much would you pay for a Da Vinci piece of painting? Well, shit, nigga, I'm Da Vinci. That's how I feel about my shit. That's why I turn my music into an NFT. And people that believe in my artistry, they're going to follow what I'm doing. And you have to be you have to be you gotta have a reality check when you're doing all this because everybody can't do everything.
Exactly.
You did? You go put an NFT for $0 and the NFT still could accumulate more money than a person that had NFT for $500,000. Right. It's funny like that, you know what I mean? It's just like the music. Nobody's guaranteed a hit. You could play a record in the studio and everybody in that studio will be like, oh, this is it, it's going #1, and that shit don't go nowhere.
Right. Yeah.
Would you recommend a non-famous person, you know, the regular rapper that's from around the way, who's like, I feel like my shit is the shit and I'm putting my joint out for like $1,000, or would you be like, young boy?
No, I wouldn't recommend that artist at that level to try to do that.
So your name, your brand, that's
the more influence
right?
you have, the more you can charge. It's about influence. So if you a person with influence, 9 times out of 10 people are going to follow you into your NFT pool and see how much water they can get out of that. You dig? And then you have elaborate platforms of people that, like she said,
Bored Ape.
You heard? Then you have things like
my NFT. I have a Bored Ape
that goes up every day in value because they have a group of people that are only it's a private group of people that have these Bored Apes and they doing different things inside of this club that they have and shit like that start to make the Bored Ape value go up, and now people wants to be involved with it, but you can't be involved with it if you don't have one of the apes. And now these apes are, how much are they costing right now?
I think the floor is like,
maybe.
Well, nigga, if you got 150,000 and you could become part of this exclusive crew.
That's the floor. That's the cheapest
But I didn't buy it
one.
at that. But I didn't buy it.
Right. So I want to know how did you buy your NFT, your ape or whatever? Like, I don't mean to because you know I'm new.
No.
right?
I mean, the biggest thing is like, I mean, I think it's the same way we know culture, right? We saw like when Megan came out a few years ago, and people were like, okay, she's a rapper. Like, no, she's a star, right? When we were seeing her doing all those freestyles and talking about she's from Houston, like, oh, this girl's a star.
It was obvious.
It was obvious, and that's how I look at NFTs. I can see a bunch of NFTs, and I can be like, no, this one's a star.
What do you see? What's the star?
Back at that time, it's kind of the idea like, okay, Megan can rap, right? A lot of people are rappers, but she can actually rap. When it came to Bored Apes, back in May 1st when I bought it, most NFTs, you didn't own the creator's license to it. You can have an NFT, you owned it on the blockchain, but I couldn't just make a clothing brand and put my Bored Ape on it. I couldn't, talk to a craft beer brand and say, put it on the label. I couldn't make a cartoon series with my, NFT. That was not possible for most NFTs. That was what happened with Bored Apes. So that was
what
a
is it
cultural
called?
shift.
The commercial
Commercial
license that
Like-
each individual would hold.
So when
now you
bought
can make
your-
money on top of making money.
Exactly, and that was not the culture. That was different. So it stuck out. And then on top of it, in real time, I'm on Clubhouse, and I'm seeing artists that I've never known from Adam doing like remixes in their own creative style with their Bored Ape because they had the right to do that. And then in real time, they were making it, putting it on the website OpenSea and selling it. And I'm just sitting in the Clubhouse room. And I'm like, let me get this. What is 0.27 ETH?
So how much did you pay for your
Like
ape?
0.27 ETH at the time? Probably the cheapest to get was probably like 0.2 ETH. So I probably spent maybe $500 on it. I didn't get the cheapest one. I got the one that I felt like represented me. Mine has like a striped shirt, like kind of this indie look, like me. Had these 3D glasses. It was pink. I was like, oh, I like this. It fit me. So people were making money in real time. Most times, people just have an NFT. It's their Twitter profile. And that's it. I'm like, if people are making money within an hour within having this, I want to be in that club. So now it's, 5-6 months later, and I'm going to parties and X, Y, and Z. There's boat parties just for people with the ape. Like, these are entrepreneurs. This is a community who's really trying to do things. We're just not a profile picture. We're not just a Twitter group. We really trying to, like, create our own wealth based off of investing in ourselves. That's different.
That's attractive,
that's
what you said
dope.
to me, though, too. Like, more so, obviously, it's an investment, so you got a business mind about you and you in it. But even the part where you say that you picked the one that felt like you the most.
Oh, totally.
Like, and I think that's with anything, is how you really attract people, is how you speak to people. So it's like you had your choice that you could buy from, but you picked the one that was kind of right for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part that excites me about this whole space even the most. It's like, of course, we're all investing and everybody wants to make money, but it could be expression as well, which is dope.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like what she said. So the NFT is a space where you can create your own rules. Totally, you dig? Pretty much within a little bit of anything.
Is
you
it
wanna
like
do.
the Wild Wild West?
It's
out
pretty
there?
much is the Wild Wild West. 100%. There's nobody can stop you from putting your own twist on how you want to sell this NFT. Like I wanted to buy a beach house in Aruba and then make an NFT where it's a timeshare on a small contract for the duration of life for the people that actually get the NFT, and I will keep 1 month for myself for the duration of life and things
Is
like
that
that.
like a timeshare? That sounds like a timeshare, though.
It is, but it's
It's a
the utility
timeshare,
attached
but
to
it's
the
a
NFT.
it's an
Ah,
NFT
you guys.
and it's also the physical. You dig?
Right.
So now people buy this NFT and now you have a chance. Now you also attached to it is the week timeshare that comes with this dope ass house in Aruba and shit like that with the time with the NFT. You get it with the NFT you brought. So
Right.
you buying an NFT, which is usually digital of some sort, right?
got
But
that.
the bonus of this NFT is the physical
That you get the
ownership
actual-
of that week in that timeshare
Got
of
it.
that
Okay.
beach house in Aruba for the duration of life through a small contract.
To make it even more wild, though, someone like you with your brain, someone like you can, like, as we use the term, the metaverse, right? Someone like you, like, hey, let me build that. Let me connect with someone who can do some digital design, get a parcel of land on Decentralized, crypto voxels. You can build, replicate
thing.
that in a virtual sense. So,
Yep.
like I said, someone can be like in London, Accra, pull up with a little avatar. And okay, yeah, you can't actually go to Aruba, go to my
But you can
virtual
go to the
world
virtual
and
one.
sell an NFT to go to your virtual world, and only people with the NFT can access it. So like, it's the wild, wild west because
you can
can build it.
One thing special about this podcast, we don't focus on people that already know the information. With people, give it information to people that really don't know. but like, and so breaking it down, we all have like understanding of it. But like as we move into the metaverse, which is the third iteration of the internet, so like the first iteration of the internet is, for the people that don't know, is Web 1, which is www. So it was just like going to regular web page. Web 2 was social media. being able to go inside a closed wall community and be able to have interactions there. And now Web3 is that it's you.
Web3 is the real movie. What's the movie with the avatars in it?
Oh, like what? Ready Player?
No, what's the movie
Ready
with
Player
the
One?
with the blue
Avatar.
with the blue?
Avatar.
That's
Yeah,
what
Avatar. Yeah.
It was good marketing. They said we're just gonna call it
This
what
is
it
where
is.
we at. And like they say, any movie that comes out, what you see in the movie, they already knew 20 years ago. You dig? So
Yeah,
when Will Smith did Enemy of the State, and they had the phones, and then
And that
10
looked crazy
years
to
later,
us, right?
the iPhone came out, niggas like, oh, they got the Will Smith movie shit on here. You can see it. Right? It's the same
thing.
difference.
You know, but we are being pushed into this metaverse. I mean, Facebook changed to Meta, and they're spending $5 billion a month, or some crazy number, just to be able to build out this metaverse, which is basically all-encompassing world. But that's not just like you go to Facebook.com, you can go to RobMarkman.com and go into your metaverse, or go into VampLife.com and go into the Vamp.
100%.
Is this like Sims and
real-
Roblox?
It is Sims
That's
and
it.
Roblox.
You
So
got
it's
it.
like
You got
Roblox
it.
for adults.
No different than Grand Theft Auto, no different
Same
than
thing.
motherfucking all of these shits where you using something digital to be who you are. and
Except
shit
you will
like
have
that.
your own unique identity within it.
And this things acts like you, walks like you, can talk like you. Your whole characteristic is what your avatar is, and you keep feeding your avatar. They got restaurants in these places. They got skydiving in these places. They got cars you could buy in these places. They got clubs in these places. This metaverse is way
Concerts.
different. Everything.
Clothing brands.
You can go to a diplomat concert
In the
on the
metaverse.
But a real live diplomat concert where me, Cam, and Joel's will really be somewhere in a studio where we're actually performing, and these people are in the metaverse watching us perform live inside of a studio somewhere.
Yeah, you can wear one of those mod cap suits. So like if you make a right
What?
left movement, the little avatars will make the right,
Yes.
in real time. And as I said, like you
Shit
can be
is
the other
bizarre.
side of the world and I'm the other side of the world, and we're all in the same place watching. Like this isn't just a pre-recorded thing.
Nah, this is real
live.
time, and you can make real money in real time inside of.
And so when you're speaking towards the creatives, the musicians and the artists, you see that everything kind of comes together. And now, I mean, we're approaching a new creative world where it doesn't matter if you're an artist or you're a painting artist, like 2D or digital art, or you're actually an MC, or, now you'll be able to have this whole new suite of tools to visualize your art and your persona, and really, it is the future of like what I said the future of the music business, but it's really the future, period.
Future.
No,
The
100%.
future of interactions with other people, connectivity, community, and it's a really good time. But, right now, the NFT for music space is really exploding, and like all of us here have, some interest in music. I mean, I don't have much anymore, but, I'm still vested in it. Like you're always with music. Your husband's a producer, what I'm saying, the DJ. Jim, you're actively out there doing it. Rob, you're doing it. And you're in it too. So, how it's going to change the music industry for musicians is just, it's so incredible, but it's also mind blowing, as you see, because like every single day, something new is happening. There's all new innovation being broke down.
But keep in mind, this won't take the labels out of position at all, because everybody ain't capable of actually doing their own NFT as much as they want to say, I'm going to make my music in the NFT. A lot of people are lazy. It's the same thing we always talk about. It's not everybody wants to be a boss, but reality is most of these people are workers, and they're comfortable with being a worker. To do NFTs, it's more like a boss mentality. Like, I want to take control of my whole identity and my independence when it comes to music, and I want to dictate how I want to share my piece of the pie. I'm everything now. So now if I want to make a partnership with a label, I can do so from this NFT perspective. Like, I want to give them a little bit of this to help my NFT go, then I could do that. Like, it's just, but you have to have a real bossed up mentality when you in that space of selling, of owning your music and projecting it, because it's just you at this point. You know what I mean? Now, if you don't have the influence, like I said, that might not be the most successful move for you.
Yeah, I call myself a Web3 world builder, because as we said, like, you really can build your own world in the same way we're applauding people like Sweetie for her partnerships, Megan Thee Stallion, Travis Scott doing things in Roblox. They have teams helping with them that, So like, there's always going to be management companies, labels, experiential agencies, digital agencies. So yeah, someone might have the vision, but there's always going to be a lot of people who might not have any Web3 experience, no crypto experience, but they might be great at doing a festival activation, and that's how we have Astro World, right? And someone might make an NFT and you can access their music festival. You're still gonna need an AEG. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna. So it's kind of like we all don't have to pivot to Web3. We all don't have to have our MetaMask wallet today to be part of this conversation to help someone execute their vision, building this world out. Now, there's gonna be some of us who are making a website, and to access that website, you have to connect your crypto wallet. Yeah, you're gonna need the crypto people for that type of stuff. Or if we all, at this conversation right now, if we all got your social token for speaking and that gives us access, you need crypto people to do that. But it's just, we're all coming together. We all have our expertise and just that meeting of the minds, you know?
How did you learn all this stuff?
The same way that I learned about hip hop, the same way that I learned about sneakers, I just
What you know about sneakers?
I'm wearing my Reacts right now.
But what you really know about sneakers? How thorough are you about sneakers?
I'm not from New York, so
you're not.
I'm not from Harlem.
I'm gonna let you slide. I'm gonna let you slide. You said sneakers. I just had to say
I know sneakers. I know sneakers, but I'm not from Harlem.
I'm gonna let you slide. Because you might know way more about the sneakers that's moving right now. Because I'm not a hype beast, but I am a sneaker fiend, so I would know way more about the sneakers that stem from the 80s all the way up into
but that's me with music, right? Like, I remember I used to work with Tuma at YouTube, right? And he used to always joke and say, like, anything new, Melanie got you. But sometimes it'd be like, what song came out in 1993? I'll be like, but I could tell you like 15,
You're not
rappers
exactly.
out of South London, 15, and like that's how I am about things. Like I could tell you about Prior Moss. I could tell you about new sneakerhead stuff. Like I'm always next. I'm always new.
You say shit like that, I get lost quick.
Yeah, but I do my research. But at the same time, it's like some people, like that's why it's like the meeting of the minds, right?
Yes.
I gotta have people that I respect, I look up to, who's gonna put me on game. And then I'm gonna be the person who's gonna be in the ear like, yo, check out this person, check out this person, check out this person,
What that gave me a little light bulb right there when you talked about the sneakers real quick. And I was like, the whole thing, like even with NFTs and how they move and, everything seems to be moving towards the scarcity model. You know what I'm saying? Because like, we talk about sneakers and people are like, you'll be like, these Travis Scott sneakers, they're only made like 500 of these. It's the same thing with the NFT field, like and anything, like, so it's interesting to see this scarcity model apply to music and media, because it's real interesting to be like, I created this song and, just like how Nipsey had Proud to Pay, it was like, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's different.
My whole thing is, let me see. So NFT is cool. It's easy to sell an NFT, right? I mean, a record is an NFT, right? But then you have two sides to it. You have production side, you have the writer side, right? And these both sides usually get paid publishing.
Right.
So, and my question is, will publishing still be valid if you selling your own NFT? And how does that work on the publishing side of things?
That's what scares me.
See, publishing, to sell an NFT is cool. That's a quick fix. But to have publishing on an NFT is something that you have for life.
Right.
You dig?
I think that's up to the writers, and the more you have control over it, to sell the NFT, the publishing rights. You might not give the whole thing away. I might make 10% available of this credit to anybody who wants to buy it. Right. And then that song, imagine that song goes on to hit #1 of the
that's cool, but I want to know how is it being done. Like, you understand, we need to find out the facts. Like Tory Lane sold the NFT. Right. Does he get publishing? Does the producer get publishing for the NFT?
Smart contract.
It's cool. What I'm saying is, even though it's a smart contract, there's something called publishing.
Right.
Something called
there's still BMI,
If that record starts getting played on the radio, there's still something called publishing, no matter if it was sold as an NFT.
What's the conversation in the publishing world about NFTs?
I think the conversation is just starting, because like that's the thing I was thinking
really?
Like,
just now?
Because the thing is, when you register a song, right, you get someone's BMI, you get your IPI number. If someone gets the shares of publishing, do they have an IPI number? No, they don't.
Right.
You know?
But you could probably sell it.
Well,
like the
listen,
same way,
so I publish some stuff. So I got a very disruptive publishing business model that I'm about to hit the whole industry with. So You could go about publishing in a whole different way that people don't even know about it. Like I can show artists how to get paid instantaneously off of music they make right now, as long as it has no samples in it. And I'll show you how to sell your publishing for either a Kickstarter or for a shitload of money by just selling the extras that the publishing company hope that you bring back. So you got 50%, you got a feature on there, they hoping you bring back 30 to 35% of the record so you can retrieve the bulk of your publishing. That means there's a big threshold of, we're not going to get into that. Let's stick to the NFTs. Let's stick to the NFTs. Let's stick to the NFTs.
Yeah.
Let's stick to the NFTs. When we get off camera, I'll show you a little bit more about it. But let's stick to the NFTs. So now, we talking about publishing. Like you did, it's two different things. But when a record gets played on the radio, what does that mean? It accumulates some type of publishing.
Mechanical royalties, yeah.
So then how does this work? So if
on
you...
TV.
I'm just trying to figure it out. So if Tory Lanez sold the NFT and then one of his records start busting on the radio, how does that work? Does it work in the same form? Do you still fill out publishing for that record?
I'd
Because
imagine,
it's a whole system, you know.
I'd imagine it's the same. Like, first of all, it's all in whatever contract, but it's just, your publishing deal and your record deal are two separate things.
Totally.
So
it could
But
be
your
like your
publishing
master
deal reflects your music,
yeah, absolutely.
right? But it reflects your music being sold commercially.
Right.
The NFT is not being sold commercially, it's being sold personally.
Right.
Thank you.
So how does this work?
Damn,
You
you're right.
see-
Might not have the
separate the
answers.
two.
I'm putting it out there because somebody got to give us some answers sooner or later.
That's why I say separate. If
Well,
I was a
I think he-
musician,
I think
I
he
would not
still
give away my
retains his
publishing
publishing.
to someone who clicked on button on open sea. You know, like
Right.
I wouldn't give away my publishing to anyone who went to a website, clicked a button, and bought it for, I don't care if it was 2 ETH, 15 ETH. I wouldn't give my publishing away.
Unless that's the value proposition. Unless like you could participate in the economics of this record.
That's
in a
cool,
different
but
way.
that's not an NFT at that point. You dig? That's going into a whole nother model, which I'm gonna talk to you about. What we trying to figure out, who's gonna tell us the rules to NFT and publishing as artists start to put out music
Don't
on
give
their
away your
own.
publishing. That's the rule.
Oh, 100%. Never. Oh, sorry about the begging. Never give away your publishing. We all know that. But how do we get paid off the publishing if I'm putting out an NFT? And
Well,
is the publishing still valid?
You know, their Coinbase just announced that they're, you know, with United Masters going to pay people in crypto. So, I mean,
They're paying people in crypto, and then they're launching an NFT platform as well.
Coinbase is launching an NFT
Coinbase.
platform.
But that's still
so-
two separate things. If you're paying somebody crypto, that's real money. They just paying what you was going
Right.
to get anyway in green
So,
dollars.
so they're trying to like create a whole ecosystem,
Ecosystem.
where
100%.
everything is in Coinbase.
But we trying to
right?
figure out, when we put this NFT out, are we going to get some publishing dollars or not?
Interesting. Anybody from
Who knows?
United Masters? Hey, Dave. Dave.
Hey Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hey Dave.
You know what I'm saying? We got to talk after this because you got answers. I know you do. You know?
But that's the disruption, right?
Or might not.
But might not.
That's publishers,
That's
that's
homework
musicians
for
coming
Dave.
together and saying, this is a question. I'm not even going to answer it, but I'm going to create my own lane for it.
Because publishing companies got to be getting nervous when they know that the artists now have the power to start releasing their own music, singles, all the way to albums.
Right.
Then they have no relation directly with that artist because they have all the relations directly with these labels who push the artists towards these big publishing companies and
Right.
things like
But
that.
they hold the bag. They'd rather give
they
you as
know
much
it's
money as
built in.
possible.
They know it's built in now. Or should I say, are these same big publishing institutions going to give the independent artists the same money that they were giving them if they were still attached to the label?
What scares me with that same point is if an average artist is like, you know, posting on social media, going to Hot 97 X, Y, and Z to push a song, hoping it'll go gold, platinum, whatever. If that same artist sold several NFTs and made $30,000, do musicians still are incentivized to push in their own songs if they're going to make that money? That's what scares me, because some musicians, their goal is to tour around the world, you know, do the interviews. But some people, they just want to make their art and chill. And if they can make that same money and legit never have to make a social media post on Twitter, never have to go to a radio interview, never have to, you know, sleep on the road and all that type of stuff, play to rooms that no one knows who they are. Will they do that? And I think we're going to have, like, just how we had those SoundCloud rappers. I think we're going to have a new class of musicians who don't want to do all this real life stuff. They want to be
They
maybe
might find
Twitter.
it old.
No, it's
But
like
do we need to?
and they're
Because
gonna make
we
their
don't
bread.
need real life,
I just told her that early. Like, this pandemic, I made so much fucking money without having to fucking go anywhere. Now people be calling me for shows. I'd be like, I don't know. I'm tired. You know, like, I don't know if I want to do that. And I might throw a retarded number to them, and it's like, you take it or you don't, and somebody like, yeah, I'm like, damn, man, I do not want to go to this fucking state. Like, and it's not, it's just, you dig, like, the comfortability of figuring out how to make money from the comforts of your own home. It's nothing like it. You dig? So now, this is why the metaverse is going to work so easily, because people are now trained to not go anywhere. No further than the store, because everything is on their phone or in front of their computer, and everybody's there.
There'll still be fans who want to experience a concert in real life.
I'm not saying that's going to evaporate, but I'm just saying.
And they'll pay more to do
premium.
that. And there'll still be artists who will be like, you know what? Nothing beats being on stage traditionally, and they'll just charge more. It's where the supply meets the demand. Like, how much are you willing to pay for that? It just becomes a different experience. The economics
That's what
change.
I'm saying. It's all
Nostalgia
kinda
is
like the
expensive
scarcity.
at this point. That's why verses go so good.
Right.
Yeah.
You heard?
Right.
I mean, vinyl sales even. You know, you talk about in the streaming how nobody buys anything physical, but vinyl sales is always on the
They're
rise. Now you're starting to see.
4,000%.
Right
Vinyls
now, I
are
can make $500,000
4,000%.
of a vinyl off the
Right.
next project I do with no sweat, just because somebody built a whole lane of that
Yeah,
nostalgia.
it create all this newness is just going to create a nostalgia economy.
But that's all it is, though. It's just nostalgia.
Right.
And nostalgia for it to be worth anything besides a physical still has to be transferred over to digital. So it all still ends up back in the
Right.
metaverse sooner or later. Once it's over, that whole content of that whole event is going on in the metaverse. It's going on.
Look at Lil Nas X, Roblox, right? Old Town Road, and Roblox has a whole little like area dedicated to, I think it's Old Town Road. The music is playing forever. I checked this out a year after it happened because I'm not 7 years old, right? You know what I mean? Like, I missed it. I just read an article. Literally, you pull up to Roblox, you step into the spot, Old Town Road is playing, complete world he's built for that. Imagine verses like that. You know, like really the idea that we are way past besides like Insecure on TV or something, we're beyond the era of, oh, it's 7 p.m., let's all gather around the TV and watch this. We are meant for this metaverse era of not just creating this space, but you might pull up 3 hours later, 2 months later, 2 years later to something that we built. And what really gets on some crypto stuff, you might need that NFT to access it. So you probably have someone buying an NFT to access something that you might have built 2 years ago. And they're like, oh, wait, I saw this. So like imagine Versus 2 years from now, people buying a Versus NFT to pop into the Versus metaverse to catch, you know, Patti LaBelle.
Because they're exclusively
Because they missed.
they actually have utilities. What they call it.
So now they need this Bored Ape in order to go watch
And
this.
that's what
versus,
that's what
or they need whatever it is.
What's it called? The blue chip value of an NFT is based off of the utility and the community it has. So that's really where it is. Because like I feel like soon NFT will be synonymous, like we say MP3. Right. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, NFT. It's gonna be whatever.
It's gonna be
whatever
regular.
the practice is. You know, like
It's gonna be every day.
Yeah, it's gonna be an everyday
Bag of
thing.
chips.
Yeah,
like a QR code now. Like before, we were like, oh, who uses QR codes? This pandemic.
Now everybody's in a restaurant.
Right.
What's the menu? Got it.
yeah.
Right.
That's what this. I mean, the party I went to last night. I went to this party called FWB. I have 5 of this social token called FWB. I RSVP'd. I only can RSVP because I have these 5 social tokens. I pulled up to the event last night in Brooklyn, pulled up a QR code. They scanned a QR code. They weren't saying, let me see your MetaMask. How many do you? No, I had a QR code. So all this stuff is just all connected.
So that was
I needed to hear that. And that's how I'm going to throw my next Capricorn event.
Hey.
Can't get in without a Capricorn.
There you go.
Just
you know?
know.
I get my Capricorn. So wait. So people were forced into QRCs pretty much because of the pandemic, right? You were kind of forced to use it.
Yeah, because nobody was fucking with it.
Right.
We
before.
weren't. No
But
one was
now-
going to a sign.
I mean, but it made sense.
No, I get it, but what I'm
Utility,
saying is, so
utility.
this barrier to NFTs, like, how are you gonna force people into getting
No.
that
social
party.
coins?
I want to go to that party, right?
It's going to be a way of life pretty soon.
Yeah.
It's like a credit card, damn. Like, people wasn't used to the credit cards in the first when you was younger. Your moms was more worried
I
about
mean,
cash than the
people's-
credit card. Now, credit card is no difference than natural progression. Beep is the iPhones.
Yeah, Apple Pay.
I mean,
you know,
Cash App.
Yeah.
The greatest example, like how many millions of people were adopted into cryptocurrency because they were cash based. They wanted small payments to go back and forth between friends, and then now you have millions of people using this app, and they were like, all right, now we're going to unlock crypto, and whatever else comes next after it.
and you don't need a bank account. Think about it. 'Cause a lot of people to this day, you know, whatever part of life they have, people don't have bank accounts still.
Not at all.
People don't have like they have a prepaid card. They don't have a credit card.
That's
But,
why we try to encourage
Yeah.
people to learn about crypto, because we want to bank the unbanked. That's why I have these crypto ATM machines to teach people about this money that you don't want to actually put in the bank, and those who actually have cash. Let me show you how to put this in crypto, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to make more money on your money in this crypto than sitting in your house. Everything has a risk, but for the most part, you definitely can make percentage on that dollar that the bank can't give you at all.
Staking, I know you know about staking and all that type of
Oh,
stuff.
staking.
What's
Yeah.
the?
No,
I don't know.
I know
about
you-
all
I
of
know
that.
the expert of
Jim
that.
might know about that. I don't
This
know
is
about
money
that.
on money. I know you can go
speaks
into
to-
that.
Staking speaks to the utility, right?
Definitely.
You know, there's stake and there's burn, right? Now, it took me a while to figure this out. You know what
Come
I'm
with
saying?
it, beef. Tell me about
It
it.
took me a while to
please.
figure this out. So if you get an NFT, you know, you have the option of getting this NFT. If you have this exclusive NFT, exclusive token, you can opt to either stake it or burn it. Burn it means basically you just get it out of the supply. You just throw it away and you take whatever value it is and whatever, that's it. But it's a cash out. But staking means that you're
Just
invested
holding
in
it.
the community. You're holding it. You know, and so that unlocks other things. When you stake, you might get another few other tokens as incentives to stay, and then those tokens will be worth something. Then you have utility. So, like you said, you staked your FWB, right? Your social token, probably got more tokens, and then they were like, okay, you know, now that you have this,
but I have
No,
a subduck. I have a subduck, and I have this NFT called Subduck, and it's like, you know, people are like, oh, profile picture is a silly duck. No. Every single day, I earn 10 cryptocurrencies they created, social tokens, whatever, called Volt. That has a value tied to it because people are buying Volt, just like buying a stock increases the value. So every month, like let's say every 30 days that I have this NFT, I earn enough Volt token that's worth equivalent of like, let's say 0.08 ETH. So let's say, unless $200, $300 by just having the NFT and doing nothing.
Yep.
Like there's literally another
That's more
one
than the
called
bank give you.
Cybercom. Exactly, and
Bank-
that's the
I'm
thing.
not-
Melanie.
You know?
Bank don't give you no rate of return.
Melanie,
Yeah.
how did you learn all of this, Melanie?
Twitter, Discord, you know, being up at 2 a.m., just clubhouse rooms, Twitter spaces, and just trying to find what's next.
See, a lot of times, like what I see, sometimes people will like buy a stock because it's just like, fuck it, I'll figure it out later, right?
Nah.
And then they lose all their bread.
Don't do that.
So, you know, look, I got to dot the I's, cross the T's, make sure it makes sense. But I understand that there's a certain like risk that we have to.
I mean, it's only a risk if you put yourself in that risk. If you put yourself in that risk, you got a couple dollars, then you be smart about the money you invest. You know, there's sure investments. Like you could put money in Bitcoin and Ethereum and get at least 7% on your dollar every year. So that's for one. You can start right there, get a little pieces of Bitcoin, $500-$600 in Ethereum, and watch that go. Then there's the whole sea out there that you actually explore and start to learn about yourself, and that's the best way to do it. That's why I encourage you to get the wallet. Once you get the wallet, you invest in some short shots, so you know that you got some things that's definitely gonna come back. Then you start to do the due diligence like everybody else. All right, what's the next hit? What I need? Oh, a Cardinal. Oh, let me go get a little bit of Cardinal. Let me see how that works out for me. Come back to that in a month. Oh shit, I'm up a couple dollars. All right, let me put a little bit more. It's all about how you hit the space. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I do.
Nobody can really teach you it, but teach you
Right.
the basics and layout of what you need to know.
And
on
you gotta,
this.
you gotta
So
be
you just
open.
gotta be willing
You gotta
to
be
just
It's like
open.
learn,
working on a
right?
computer. When they told me when I told you when I first got to Gateway in '94, and it was like Microsoft Word 2.0. It was like just go ham on that shit. Press as much buttons as you want. You can't break it. You did? Just go ham. Figure it out. Explore. Try to figure out as many things on this computer as you can, because you can't break it. And that's what it's like. That's what it's feeling like all over again to me. Like get in this space. And
But
let's
it's money.
explore.
Yeah, but I'm saying
It's money
like,
if you spend the money.
Yeah.
It don't cost nothing to go and look.
Yeah.
It don't cost
That's
nothing to
true.
read. It don't cost
And then-
nothing.
That's
And
true.
then you also think about
That's
all the
true.
things that you actually spend money on. That we all spend money on every day,
Facts.
right? That have no value. So
Like when you get into that, like, people always say, like, oh, if you got 200 to spend on Jordans, you got 200 to spend on
Hell
Virgil,
no. If you
right?
got 200 to spend on Jordans, get your Jordans.
Right.
You gotta keep
Exactly.
the drip. You gotta. Yeah, I'm spending my two on the Jordans.
You can't be looking dusty.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? But
I
Yeah.
go at this with my daughter all the time.
just things that we spend money on.
Right.
Yeah, because
that
there's a value.
don't
right?
hold no merit
It's a
in our
social-
life.
It's social currency,
Right.
right?
everything is that. All that is
Yeah.
materialistic.
But I'm saying for some
but
people,
it might have value. It might have personal
Sentimental value.
Well, but also the sneaker resale market
It's
booming.
crazy.
So
That's
they
a whole
actually
other thing.
have.
It's a
physical
smart play.
value.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when
so
I,
that's like what women do
And
with
if you
Birkin
wear
bags,
them, they
right?
still.
Yeah.
Well, Birkin bag is different. That's
Yeah.
actually like a Rolex. A Birkin bag accumulates value the longer you have it.
Yeah.
Jordans don't do that, but they do resell for a certain amount of dollars.
as long as they're not beat up or in good condition.
A
yeah.
Birkin bag, baby, is like a Rolls Royce from the 1930s. That thing is going up if you got it in your closet. For real. That's
Like an NFT, like an NFT.
So like an NFT.
I mean, shit. I
An
mean,
NFT is just like art. The way art becomes a value is if all of us say, "Oh,
This is
this
dope.
new artist, Mine and Diamonds, he's the shit." So let's all put this up and tell them, "Oh, this is the new artist, and this shit is going crazy. It costs a certain amount of money." And now the artist is now the new popping person.
Got
When
it.
Jay-Z put that Richard Mille on, say, "Nigga, this the new watch. All you little rappers better go get. You already know." Now
And-
what's going
and
on?
what happened?
Every single rapper got
They
a
don't
Richard
even-
Mille, and if you don't have it, you broke, nigga. You ain't got a Richie in your closet. You ain't on my
telling you.
level.
So is there
the
a way?
counterfeits is going up on them.
Wait, so is there a way for companies to
Fake
kind
watch
of like
business.
break the system?
$1,000.
So, for example, like, can companies back
Of course.
artists and
They could do whatever.
create a false, like,
It's not a false. It's just a
value
moneymaker.
system?
They just putting value on something that's an NFT. It's not a fluke. It's what they do. They can put a piece of spit on the wall. And if the right people say that spit is worth $2 million, they're gonna buy that spit
Yeah,
for
the
$2
banana on
million.
the wall. We also
Yeah.
saw the banana,
The banana
on the wall
Art
at Art
Basel,
Basel.
2
So
years
it's
ago.
not a hustle. It's
Yeah.
about the influence.
Because what I hear a lot of times, people say NFT is a scam. Like, that's
For
what
people who
say.
don't understand.
But it sounds like
It's
to me,
culture.
and you're like me in that way. Buy the things that mean
Mean
something.
something to
So
you.
whether the value go up or go down, right? Like it still holds something to you. Like you
Right.
could start there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that could be your entry point where you look. I'm the same way. I got to be passionate.
Do you have any NFTs?
About, I do not.
Do you have any crypto wallets?
I do not. I'm here.
on.
but
We'll
I'm
get
getting
you
it
there. We'll
today.
get you there.
Rob,
We'll
come
get
on,
you there.
Rob, Rob.
But now
Come on, Rob.
I'm here. Listen,
He's lucky.
He's
He's here
NFT.
today to learn.
But listen,
Yes.
listen.
Me too.
I'm convinced.
Crypto.com.
I'm convinced. You know what I'm saying?
Crypto.com.
It is the future. I mean, like you can't deny it. Like it's the future. Like MP3s were when Napster. Remember Napster?
Yeah,
hit,
and
it
every-
just,
and
it is.
everybody-
I mean, it.
Is it one of those things like get on or get left? Like if you're not on board,
No.
it's gonna be
No, it's at your own time. At
We're
your
all
pace.
early.
Yeah.
We're all
So
early.
there's still a
This
we're
conversation
still in a
is very
space
early.
right now that you could get involved and you could still potentially.
But you can't get left fairly
Yeah.
fast because
The regular.
everything that
you-
happens
yeah.
in digital time goes quicker
Yeah.
every day.
There's bags that you won't get, but there's still bags in
That
the
you
future.
can get.
Yes.
But I really
And-
want to point a real quick point about kind of like about the wearables, right? So you can have a JPEG, and it might not be the wearable to wear in the metaverse, right? But the good thing about this tech thing is if you are investing in the right teams, like okay, I'll buy a photo of a pair of sneakers from you because that JPEG just might be a photo, but I know the way your brain is. In 3 months, that might be some sneakers in the metaverse. And then that can lead to something else, into something else, and something else. And that's the thing about when you are investing in doing your own research, you have to realize, okay, if I'm just buying a photo of some sneakers, will it just stay that? Am I talking to a team? If in their Discord and their Twitter, are they talking about other things? If they're not, I'm not spending 1 ETH on it. But if they say it's calling 1 ETH and it's someone on this table, I know that, yeah, I'm going to spend this 1 ETH right now because it might just be a photo of some sneakers, but I know this might be giving me access to like the Barney store
Yes.
of the metaverse in a year. And this is that NFT was the first thing. Okay, first it was a photo, then it led to a wearable, then it gave access to an
Yes.
exclusive store, then now I have
Yes.
access to a real store in
Yes.
Milan.
Yes.
That's all possible
It's-
if you're investing in the right
yes.
people. So that's the thing is like, but you can't let your idea with the possibilities and saying, let me buy anything, they can do that. No, you got to actually invest in the right people. And like when it comes to this game now, the smart VCs and stuff like that, they're talking to people like us because they're like, oh, if you can see it, I'll give you the capital to build it. And that's like, this is why especially people of color, we need to get into the space, because if you are a visionary type and you actually do execute, there's money for you. Because a lot of people are trying to say, what's a wallet? And if you're like, yo, I have all these ideas, and if you connect me to that person and that person and that person, we're going to get it done. There's people who are going to help you do that. So that's why we all need to get into this in our own due time, just because in real life, we might not be able to do this type of stuff. Like, I call this like a Black Wall Street era right now, because not only can we create it, but we can support each other internationally. I can support an artist. Like, I bought my first NFT on Solana from this team all in Nigeria. I've never been to the continent, but I was able to support their business. So like, this is our Black Wall Street right now. It's amazing.
No, that's one of the reasons why I created the Capital Coin, because of where we are in the culture. And I know the power we have once we come together and invest and support something. So like we saying, NFTs we want to know what the value is, or what happens with it after we buy. So when I brought the Capital Coin, I was figuring out what I wanted to actually do, not just the influence and cashing out, but cashing in, meaning that I want people to retain their Capital Coin so that they could use it at all of the mom and pop stores that are starting in Harlem and things like that, from the bodega to the barbershop to all these. And anytime you use a Capital Coin, it's going to come at a discounted price at anywhere you use this coin. So just give the people not to cash out, but to cash in, meaning we hold these coins and just keep it circulating. The value builds up for them and for me. We all get to eat by using this currency. And not only by me creating this, I wanted to open up a lane for other people like myself who has influence. So now if I create a Capital Coin and start to flood Harlem with Capital Coin, with people using it. Now, in turn, Meek Mill, can you get a Meek Mill coin in his range from Philly to wherever he's at? And now it's no different than currency you have in the world yet. Like, Jamaica money is such that you might need $1,000 for $1, but it's still money. You still could spend that money in Jamaica, right? Like, no different with these Capital Coins. Like, my shit is valued at $0.01 right now. I'm real money. You dig? So now for the people who wants to invest, I suggest you're getting early, because sooner or later this penny is going to slightly go up a little bit, and you can get rich off of just grabbing at a low cost and watching it go up.
Shit, if you put like $1,000 into that penny and it goes up like, a couple points, it removes the decimal.
And what happens if it reaches $1 and it really starts to become currency, dollar on dollar, that people now can use in the store?
I got Zoom in February 2020. Right, I got Zoom stock February 2020. I didn't invest a lot, just a little bit, because I saw what the world was turning. Now, when it was, even today, how many Zoom calls are we on? It's been over a year and a half later.
Zoom's
it's the same things, but the idea is
we outside,
we all can create our Zoom. You have your coin, you have your token, you have your token. That's the thing. We might not be able to have something on Coinbase. I mean, we might not have something on Robinhood, right?
Uniswap.
I'm saying, but before we're on Robinhood, right before we IPO, we can all create our own social token.
Yes, 100%.
And we can have people invest in us, and people can buy things with our social and really create real economies.
So I can have my
what is a CPO, right?
Yeah.
CPO, right? That's what they call it. Crypto. What's IPO?
Initial public offering.
Yeah, crypto public.
I see that.
Let me ask a question, though, and this is a genuine question out of not knowing. At what point, because this is all early adoption.
Definitely.
I feel like whenever we get to making some money for ourselves and talking about creating our own economies, here come regulations.
The SEC's all up on this.
But the beauty of this is, I don't think that they're going to be ready to stop too much when it comes to this space.
They said it's sort of like whack-a-mole.
Because this space is created so nobody can put no barriers.
I don't know, but it sounds like me.
It was you that said,
you did?
SEC trying to regulate cryptocurrency is like playing the game of whack-a-mole.
100%, it can't be done. Now they can catch you for doing crimes within that space. Like if you're doing some wild shit, of course they can.
We're not encouraging that.
You dig? But they can't really stop what's going on in that space. You dig?
And don't get it twisted. Like whales, people with a lot of money look at crypto and the NFT space to store value.
Man, this whole shit was built on crime.
I mean, the whole shit is crime.
But it was built directly on crime. That Bitcoin was built for crime.
I mean, so was our economy in this country.
No, but I'm just saying, like 100%. But this was built directly for that, so they can't get caught when it comes to the transferring of money and things, so that they can use it for whatever it is out there in the world. That shit was so dope that now it's come back full circle that we are using it for everyday life now because it can't be stopped.
Right.
I mean, people see like a lot of these NFTs are used as profile pictures, right? And the reason is why is because you have your crypto wallet. It's not tied to your bank account, so no one knows your real identity. You'll have a profile picture, you as a monkey, a turtle, whatever. So no one knows what you look like. You can walk into here right now, and you can be someone worth $1 billion.
Not even know.
And no one will know. And that's the thing is like, take the crime out of it. Is the idea people are accumulating wealth, but at the same time, there's no X on your back now.
So let me ask, you said this is a space that people of color especially should be getting into, right?
Definitely.
Both me and Rob are people of color sitting here. We're just not, we're both very smart people. I've known Rob for a very long time.
You're smarter than me, but yeah.
We're both very smart people. What do you think is like the biggest barrier to entry? Why is it not something that's so easily adoptable?
Most conversations aren't like this. We're not saying fungibility, non-fungible token.
I hate that.
You'll never hear me describe. People will say what an NFT is. You will never hear me say fungible ever.
Why?
Because
people don't understand it.
As soon as I hear that, my mind goes blank. And I remember learning this type of stuff and the way people were breaking things down, and it took me so much longer to get my crypto wallet because I said, what did I say to you? It's an app. Download the app.
What's your hang up, Rob? Why you slow? Why you lunching?
Yeah.
Because I think this is the space of
absolutely.
No, you would kill it.
It's actually something prior even to being at this table. It's conversations I've been having with some people around, the NFT space specifically. So it's just education. It's just I'm the type that I got to know before I jump into something, but also not be afraid. So like even prior to this, I'm close to figuring all of my shit out and just going for it, like really,
and
really
download
close.
a wallet because the thing about it is kind of like you said,
jump
in,
in,
right?
Yo, stop playing.
Downloading your MetaMask wallet, right? That's not even jumping into it because it costs no crypto. You don't got to do it. It's like you just like basically it's like saying like, okay, I have an email. Doesn't mean that you made a Fortune 500 company. Right. You just made a new Gmail account. Right. And it's the same thing. It's like setting up a Gmail account when you set up that wallet.
On it. Honestly, when like I downloaded MetaMask, like I can't be like last year or something like that. And all I would do is just play with the little fox because it like moves with your mouse. And I just play with it. And I didn't even like log in or anything. I just like, I felt smart just having it, you know? And then it was just like the baby steps you take. I mean, it's really about like having these conversations where there's not a lot of jargon. I hate that shit.
How much, let's get down, because I think this is helpful for people to hear as well. How much money does it take? Like, what's a good starting?
$100.
$100. Yeah, and there's NFTs.
Shit, so you could explore and just figure it out.
And then you'd be willing to lose it.
So right. And I'm asking that too, more so for people listening, right? So $100 or even for kids, like think about the shit that we spend $100 on and don't think about it.
Uber Eats a couple days.
But let's not forget, $100 is still $100 to a lot.
For sure.
You know what I mean? When we dealing with this table, $100 to us means nothing.
Right.
But $100 for some people has to be a smart investment.
$100 still means something to me.
And this can be a very smart investment with $100 that you use.
But this is what I say. This is like the same way that people will sign up to a class to people will pay to go to a conference, right? Or pay $100 to learn Google AdWords, right? You got to think about that when you buy a $100 NFT. Because most NFTs, worth their salt, they'll have a Twitter account, they'll have a Discord account to it. So if you get like a Afro Droids, right? One of the first,
I love the Afro Droids. Yeah,
Afro Droids, one of the few what we call generative art, like kind of like 10,000 type of culture project made by someone on the continent, right? It costs about $100 to get it, but they have a Discord server, they have a Twitter account, they have a lot of conversations on Twitter Spaces. So the idea is like it's the same as sign up for that course, because by you just buying that one NFT, you're in the community and you can hop into that Discord server and hear all the conversations, learn from all these experts, like because you're part of them, and they don't see you as, oh, you just got a wallet yesterday. You could have been in this space in 2013, you could have been in the space in 2020. Or yesterday, you are in the community. And that's the game changer that like I've never seen exist in life. It's like when you put on a t-shirt, right? If you see me put on like a Diggable Planets t-shirt anyone who knows hip hop will be like, oh, she likes old school hip hop. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, you could have a conversation.
Yeah,
For
they're
those
not-
that know, that was the
Yeah.
Diggle plan. This is random. I get it though. I'm from Flatbush,
No,
Brooklyn,
but
so
you get
I
what I
respect
mean.
that.
But it's like kind of like if you see that, you know, like
Right.
okay, you know about
You
hip
know
hop,
your
and it's
thing.
the same thing. You have a certain NFT and pop into the community. They're not gonna quiz you. They're not gonna say, oh, are you into Polygon? Are you into Salon? They're not gonna quiz you. They're gonna say you're in the community. Let's help you learn. And a lot of us who's been in this space, if we want to admit it or not, our first NFTs helped us just jump first into that community. So like. I say your first one, don't buy anything. Just like you start with Bitcoin and Ethereum, something reasonable to buy a cryptocurrency, buy an NFT that you know that already has a Twitter account, already has a Discord server. You can get in the Discord server without buying the NFT. Are people talking in it? Are people active every day? Then get into it. But don't buy anything. Don't buy everything.
So at least even if the thing doesn't accumulate in value or whatever, the value is within the
Exactly.
community that
And-
they've created around it and the information you can then glean from that community.
1,000%.
And that's why
That's
I feel
it.
like for musicians, it's like going back to the fan club. You know, like when I was a little bit like younger, but
It's 100% that. It's digital,
what was that band?
It's digital memorabilia.
LP Underground, which was Linkin Park, like they had the most crazy exclusive fan club called LP Underground. When you joined LP Underground and you paid like to be a part of that community, you got like mystery boxes and T-shirts and you got special ticketing, and it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing, except it's all virtual. You know,
Yeah.
that token, that NFT invites you into this world. So I just see it if people start thinking in that, you know, especially artists, musicians start thinking that way instead of just being like, oh, I'm going to upload my NFT, you sell $1 million worth of it. No, you're building this
But
community.
that's what people get off top when they hear these NFTs, when they don't have the knowledge. They think that either it's a fraud or they're gonna be able to make a shitload of money off top.
Yeah.
Yo, I got people every day. Yo, I want to do this NFT. Yo, please, like, yo, they just think of something they could just put on their phone. Oh, my NFT is up, and it's not. It's
Nah,
not. You know what
it's
I mean?
the
That's why
community. You're buying into
we
a
need more
community.
conversations like this. We need to explain more to people how
That's
to
the value of
move
the community.
into space.
Like you said,
Yeah, and then-
jumping into
yeah.
a Discord, and you know, like I did it. Like I joined like I have like 30 Discords I joined just because I like this NFT. And you go there, and you be like, wow, they got 4,000 people in here talking about this, and then you just hey, what's going on? And they're like, hey, guy, what's up? And then you got new friends, and you from this guy's from Sweden, this guy's from South Africa, and then, you know, and you're all together for this one cause, and it becomes.
Is it different from? I feel like in old school or traditional business, like they're gatekeepers who kind of hoard the information. Like
No,
they don't
people
really
spread-
want
it's
you to
free-flowing.
know
It's
It's
decentralized.
free flowing, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's community, right?
because the community creates the
Open
value,
source,
right? So the more
decentralized.
people in the community builds the value.
You want people to
of-
buy it, and you want people. Cause the thing about it is it's a win if you have an NFT, and we say like holders, wallet holders have it. So like you want an NFT that has, it might be 10,000 total. You want 5,000, 6,000 people buying it because that's 6,000 people. I have a Bored Ape. I'm talking about Bored Ape from the table. This is going to be broadcast. This is raising the value, the awareness of it. So they want that. And like I was thinking about talking about these like fan groups is the same way there was like Kanye to the and Odd
Yep.
Future Talk and like how groups like Brockhampton.
Remember Nike Talk
Yeah.
and stuff
Nike
like that?
Talk. I
Yeah,
was definitely on Nike
Brockhampton
Talk.
started in one of these chats, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the things, like we have these organizations called DAOs, DAOs. The same thing is like
What's a
it's-
DAO?
Basically, it's like a digital first organization. But the thing is, in these same Discords and these group chats,
They turn into like
collectors-
small collectives.
yeah,
which
and they're
then-
going to make the next visionaries. You know,
literally
they're
like
coming
a-
together.
Honestly, it's like a fucking street team or like a
Right.
indie label. It's just an indie label without walls. It's a startup without walls. It's just like
That's global.
That's global. That you don't have to hire people. Like you could create a DAO and be like, okay, I have this DAO. Like my guy here has 40 acres DAO. Where you at?
So when you say create a DAO, you create a DAO. You're just creating a community. You're creating
You-
an
but you
online
do it,
space.
yeah, you
It's
just-
sometimes
like a
it starts
Google
as- sometimes it
Workspace,
starts
It
as
could be
something
on
like
a
that.
Discord.
You know?
You know?
Like
A room?
I have a community, right? I have this community that started on Clubhouse a year ago called Blurred Lines, right? Mm-hmm. It started off as we gather from around the world, talk about music, Web3, culture, from everywhere. One person pulls up from South Africa, one person pulls up from Sweden every week, right? That could link into the community. And just like how Odd Future started off Brockhampton started in a chat, it's the same thing. We're going to have people who start in a Clubhouse room in a Discord.
So is
Like
your
the YBN
Clubhouse
kids.
room a
Yeah.
DAO?
Pardon?
Is your clubhouse room a DAO?
It's going to be there and probably it's moving that direction, but it starts as a community first.
Yeah.
Some people start as a DAO. I start as a community because I want to have like-minded people together, believe in each other, fighting for each other, want to build. And like, that's the thing is, we're going to see a lot of NFTs started because they're all collectors of the same project. We're going to have people who are, oh, I have an Afrojoy, you have Afrojoy. Oh, we all have his coins. Let's all build something. So that's what the future is going to be. It's really like-minded people coming together because they all are invested in the same project. And like, wait, let's make something that doesn't exist.
And it also goes by their expertise because within a DAO, you have different guilds. And each guild could be like, this is the marketing department. So it's open source to anybody in the world that has marketing and experience that wants to, that feels like this is the community that they're attached to and that they're drawn to could join this guild within this DAO and then share their marketing expertise or their web development expertise or their design development. And then you have a literal global corporation staffed with thousands of people that you don't see unless you have like group calls, and you're all working for the collective of maybe a big project. Like there's DAOs that people hire out to create strategies. Like it's the future.
I don't see the people that I work with anymore anyway.
Exactly.
Exactly,
Like in a real job, like you don't.
So, Rob, you interview people all the time, right?
Yeah.
Do you have, are people having these conversations? Are you hearing this?
I'm hearing it. Yeah.
Are they like resistant to it? Are they afraid of it? Like,
it just depends. It's early adopters, like, and not. There's people who are resistant to it because they don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one to push the conversation because I'm not in it myself. Like, just even being here at this table with y'all inspired the hell out of me. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna get moving right away. But
me and you, we gonna do
some
tutorials.
Should be a next article.
You're gonna teach me stuff.
Hip hop and NFTs.
You gonna teach us some stuff.
Yeah, but
Jim's gonna do a
because you can write
workshop.
an article and sell an article as an NFT. Each page as an NFT.
Yeah, on Mirror.
Yep.
On Mirror, XYZ, yeah.
Each page as an NFT.
That's crazy.
You see this?
The tokenization of your
each
world.
Each page could be worth more. Like the first page could be worth 1 point some ether.
Right.
The last page could be worth a whole ether. Like each page could have a different value
That's
for
crazy.
people to actually
People are
read
funding
it.
films. People are funding films, crowdsourcing. And like back to the music conversation, one thing is like this is an amazing artist. You probably know Latasha, who's been in the space for a long time. And she'll say, I know, back to knowing your worth, right? She's saying, no, my music is not worth 0.08 ETH. It's worth this amount of money.
She has something up for $5 million in ETH.
Yeah, she crowdfunds.
She crowdfunds.
So she gets to, so that's why community is so important because she'll say, okay, I know one person in my community might not be able to afford something that might cost $30,000, right? But if I have, let's say 100 people who all have a certain amount of money, we're all going to band together and support me. And yes, I am worth $30,000. And that's why we back to our earlier point about just some average musician don't jump in and might say that. You got to get your people on board. You can't say, I have 100 likes on my Instagram. Can you get all them 100,000 likes on your Instagram post to all
people
big?
can't.
Most artists
and
can't even
you're
do it.
good.
Most artists can't even get them to click on a Spotify link.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Much less. But yeah.
I look at
But if you
Latasha's
can,
page, she
yeah.
got like 20,000 people, but then she's selling her art for like 30, 40,000.
But that's what
She's
it is.
mobilizing them.
I think
Mobilizing,
in this art world, like through social media, we've been trained or taught to think to get the most amount of followers, the most amount of likes. And that's cool, right? But how much of that is actually
Engagement,
right?
And I think the thinking, particularly in the art world, is like, and the trend is going to become smaller, more engaged groups.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Keep the rest of the like I'm cool. Like if y'all want to watch, keep looking what you're looking at. But this smaller group, that we're going to participate
and
and this is the way,
incentivize
and
them,
incentivize them. Yeah.
with social tokens to be able to be a part of this community. Like Jim has like 40 million in audience already across social media. I'm pretty sure he takes like 2% of that. 2% of that will probably go buy everything he wants, but be able to pull those people out and be like, you are my super VIPs.
But it's very hard to get that 2% to engage in what you want them to engage into as far as what you need them to buy. That 2% might be an avid fan of yours, but that don't mean they're going to buy everything you want them to buy when you want it. So you got to strategize to hit that 2% so that it turns over for you.
What are some of the things that you do to get these people to?
Well, I mean, I've been in the game for a minute, so when I got an album coming out, I got a whole label that's gonna drill it down their throat. Oh, Jim Jones album's coming out, this, that. We got Mine and Diamonds, so United Masses is going to be like, oh, Mining Diamonds is coming. So for me, it's a little bit easier to hit those points. But what he's saying is totally right. Like if I got 40 million, I might be able to target 2% that actually will buy anything that
and
I put
incentivize
out.
them.
But we have to target that 2% for them to buy when I need them to buy.
So are you targeting? So when you do your NFT stuff and your crypto stuff, are you targeting the people that's already in the community, or are you targeting?
I target people.
Does it matter?
I worried about my community, and I'm not engaging. I'm not doing things specifically for my community. I'm just worried about my community, because I know once I can get my community to get involved, what I got going on, they all have their own communities, and then the next time around, that makes my community that much bigger. Once they give their community something that they like from me, you know what I mean? So I worry about the things that I can control more. Say like that's why with the Capricorn, I'm worried about just the stores in Harlem right now, because I know that's my community that I'm most likely to get more traction out of. And now each one of these stores has a network system also. They might know another store where they get their sugar from, or she might know where she get her weed from, and then that might spend to the beauty parlor store, like because of their network that they have and things like that on using the Capricorn. And it's 20% off of using and things like that. So I'm always worried about my community as opposed to everything else, because you keep trying to reach everything else, you're never going to get there. It's so big out there.
Yeah.
And I think also when it comes to other musicians, I think you got to know that a super fan doesn't always mean like an early adopter fan. So like there's some people that they might not be the biggest fan, but they're willing to try something. Like the same way that, like I love DJ Khaled and I was following him on, I was following him on Snap. Yep. But like, had I bought every DJ Khaled album on iTunes at that point, of course I danced to the songs in the club, but at the same time, I'm an early adopter person. So I was following DJ Khaled on Snap back in whenever that was. And you got to realize, okay, your super fans might be like liking it on Instagram and giving you 10,000 likes. And there's another type of fan that's going to buy that social token, going to buy that NFT, and that's okay. And the idea is if you get those early adopter fans to go hard for you and you support them, and you might say, okay, it might start off with 100, it might start with 1,000, it might start with 5, right? But if you invest in them and show, okay, let's keep this motivated. Let's not just make a sell out and celebrate. Like, no, 2 months later, keep on making those 10,000, not those 100 people happy, is going to do great, because guess what? 2 months later, those super fans are going to be like, okay, I had 2 months to figure this out. It's still going. Let me hop in. And that's okay, because the early adopters are going to be in for the first 2 months, and the super fans are going to come in 2 months later, and the rest of the people are going to come in 2 years after that. And that's all right.
Yeah, and that was the beauty of Nipsey, rest in peace. I was at MTV at the time when he did the $100 mixtape. If y'all remember, he did a $100 one, and after that was successful, he did a $1,000 mixtape. After that, and the headline, and I interviewed him then for that, and the headline then was $100 mixtape, and I think that's what everybody ran with, right? But what he was essentially doing was building community. It wasn't just the $100. It was the $100 mixtape. You came to the store to come have him autograph it, meet him, take a picture,
get merch.
They gave you a bottle of champagne.
So that's essentially
and a concert ticket.
Yep. NFTs. That's what y'all are doing right now, right? So you get
that
the
was
NFT.
an NFT before the NFT.
Right. He's ahead of his time.
So was the Wu-Tang, that album, was that an NFT?
No, you're going to love this. Now, those DAOs we just talked about, right?
Yeah.
One called Pleaser DAO, they just bought that from Martin Scarelli.
Right.
That happened like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So like all this stuff is intertwined, but like that's the thing is like when it comes to people of color, it's kind of the idea is like, if you understand sneakers and StockX, if you understand Kanye Tither, if you understand like, if you know the story of Nipsey, you already understand this culture. And that's the things like, I know it's like the mental blocks, oh, this is crypto, I don't understand this, but the average person down the street doesn't know the Nipsey story. The average person on the street doesn't understand that walking down the street, they'll see a pair of Yeezys and understand those are $300 shoes, and you have to go to StockX. The average person doesn't get that. So us knowing that knowledge makes it so much easier to get into this world. While someone else who only knows about, Clark's and they get all their news from,
right.
the regular magazine, and it's gonna be harder for them. So we really have a leg up, and when we get into the space, we can run with it, just because we have like the average turn on your TV news and all this cultural capital to really not just understand it, but to really create our own legacy within it.
Yeah.
Where's the place that you could like get the most information? Like Twitter, Clubhouse,
The NFT
Jim?
Bible. I say the NFT Bible.
Oh,
What's the NFT Bible? Where do you get that?
Yeah. The platform where a lot of people kind of like the Amazon of NFTs, like I'm not affiliated with them at all. It's called OpenSea, right? Most NFTs, if you buy it, if it sells out or whatever, you can buy it on the secondary market on OpenSea. And the thing about it is they made a complete guide called the NFT Bible. Google it, first thing that comes up, and it gives a breakdown of everything. If you really want to do research, but at the same time, if I'm honest, I wouldn't even start there. The first thing is download the app MetaMask.
Yep.
You know, because you'll have this thing called seed phrase, write it on a sheet of paper, write it on a whiteboard, write it 15 times, never ever. If you get a DM from me, don't give it to me. Don't give it to me. It's not me. I don't want your seed
Nobody
phrase.
needs to know your seed
If
phrase.
someone
Nobody.
DMs you on Discord saying, hey, we're giving away CryptoPunks, we're giving away Bored Apes, do not click the link. Never click a link that you get in a Discord, like in a DM. Never, ever, ever, never, ever give away that private phrase or seed phrase. Never give it away. But legit, don't look for easy money. Just set up your MetaMask. Get your seed phrase.
MetaMask, M-A-S-K?
M-E-T-A.
Okay.
Like Facebook Meta.
Meta, yeah.
and then Mask, M-A-S-K.
Yeah, the Mask,
And like
okay.
that's like having your having your Cash App number. Right.
Let me ask you a question. One thing is because you could operate in anonymity in this world. Should your user's name, should it just be something completely different from your government
can
name?
be.
Does it matter?
Well, okay, speaking of the username, is a big thing called ENS,
Right.
right? And
What's ENS?
Basically, it's like imagine, it's like Cash App, right? So you can send my Cash App, if anyone wants to do it, you can send money on Cash App to me right now. And it's the same name as my username on Twitter, X, Y, and Z. You don't got to know my bank account number, you know my cash tag. That's the same thing with this ENS is.
So it'd be like Melanie.eth.
Yeah, mine is Melanie.eth, M-E-L-K-N-E-E. So if you want to send me some crypto, that's how you do it, right? It's the same way as the Cash App. So instead of having this long number, like you have a bank account number, instead of having a long number like your crypto number for your wallet, you can switch it over. Now, I do that because I like having my personal brand tied to what I'm doing in crypto. But someone who's like, as we said, the whale, the really rich people who literally has millions and millions of dollars of crypto, they don't want people to know what they're doing. So they'll just be anonymous. They're going to have the number. They have no name tied to it. Nothing, and they do that.
Niggas don't know nothing about my shit.
Exactly.
Are you anonymous?
I'm totally anonymous. You don't know I don't trade. I don't do none of that shit. My shit gets done for me and and get put in my account. I just talk about it and give people the knowledge. I'm not even good at it. Matter of fact.
But the thing about it is, like, legit, there's people who literally will look at your wallet, and if they know what yours is, they will literally look at your digital wallet because this is all public information.
Yeah,
if they know it's you,
your ass clean.
and not even that, they will buy everything that you buy. Just because people, that's why you
just
got to do your
because,
own
yeah.
research. So like that's why like if you are public facing, you got to be careful because someone like, oh, whatever you bought, and you just might have bought it because you met someone like, oh, they're a nice person. Let me buy your NFT.
Right.
Cool. Let me break you off. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna sell my house and buy that. And you got to be careful with this type of stuff. So that's why you really got to be discerning this space and not associate an NFT with getting rich because we're buying stuff for different reasons.
What are some of the biggest pitfalls that people like myself and Rob should be looking out for as we enter into
Don't
this
click those
new
links in Discord. I'm telling
No
you.
links in
get rich.
Word
Discord.
up.
Just
You know?
follow the Mining Diamonds and the Blurred
Yeah.
Line Discords, and we'll be able to give you great advice.
Yeah.
It's so funny what she said though that they'll look at your wallet and then copy what you buy. It's kind of
Yeah.
like how we look at Jim for the drip and then just,
Oh nah.
It's the same thing, though. It
Yeah, that
really,
photo
really
you
is.
had on the last trip report looked wavy, man.
But it's the same culture.
Get
We
all
all
my
know
shit
that.
from a flea market.
crazy.
But it's the same way that you will see someone like who will get a spinning chain before that was a thing, and then everyone wants to get that. Right? It's the same. I'm saying we know
Not all
this
of us.
culture. We know the
Yes, we
culture
do.
of someone wears something in a music video. Back when people were wearing Beats by Dre earphones and music videos, and then Beats by Dre's were the biggest things ever. It's the same culture.
Do people in
Yeah.
the community value the celebs and the more known influencers over?
Hell no. Celebs mean nothing in the NFT business unless you know about it and you have a heavy influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Besides that, They don't care about
Yeah,
that.
that's
Shit
what I
don't
like
mean-
about the
shit
community.
don't
The
mean-
community is based on the people that are already in the community, and that's why you see there's people out there that go, "I'm not even talking to you if you don't have a certain avatar," because
and
I
people
know you
talk to
don't
me
know
because I have an avatar.
Exactly, because they know you don't know.
You don't know what you're talking about, right?
100%.
So I'm in this world, and if you don't
Or
have an
they'll-
ape or a punk or
They'll
you
pay
know,
for your influence. They'll give a rapper some money. Hey, take this money because I need to use your likeliness to pump this NFT. But
right.
Because they'll know some people, if you pump something, certain people will buy it. But the
100%.
people who are, deep in the community, they'll be like, oh, I'm glad he's getting some bread. I'm not
100%.
buying it because I know, and they'll know that he's just getting a bag.
Right.
Good for you. I'm not stopping you. But I know that you don't
That's
care
like-
about that NFT.
That's like when they was paying rappers to be in the South Pole ad.
But like,
Like
so,
we knew we wasn't rocking it,
But
but
it's just like, yo, get that money.
But once
baby.
again,
Get
we
that
know
money.
this culture.
but
We know
like,
the
so
culture.
when the
Lot
so,
29.
so I'm seeing a lot of corporations, right? Like I just saw like McDonald's put out an NFT, right, for the McRib or something
Yeah, the
like
McRib
that,
NFT,
right?
like-
But I'm just saying, like, so when the corporations start to get involved, does it change the whole dynamic of it? Is it a good thing? Like, I'm gonna give you an example. Like last weekend, it was like a big old battle rap thing. I don't know what it's called. What is it? A competition?
Drake joint?
Yeah, the Drake
Yeah,
joint,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I saw some of the
Oh, yeah.
OG battle rappers like, this is for us, yo. Why you letting, you know
I
what I'm
don't,
saying?
I don't
Like
want to be
they don't
disrespectful
want.
to Drake. Didn't do it
No,
on his
I don't,
own.
want-
Drake,
no, I don't want
Smack,
to
I
say
think was
like
involved.
it was
Yeah,
Drake and Smack. It was
yeah.
URL
It's just he
thing.
appreciates the
Yeah,
culture.
right,
That's
right.
right.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what I'm saying is what happens is a lot, like you said, like when we do this stuff, right, it's for us, it's the community. We're building this from the bottom up, right? Then when corporations come in, they have a whole lot of money and then they can change the whole dynamic of it.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna
the
go that way.
corporation can't change the dynamic of an NFT at all. What
I
they
said,
can
that's like
do is
McDonald's
pay
putting out an MP3.
is pay extra to get involved with that NFT business.
Right.
No,
So
no
that's a
different they
good
would do.
thing.
It's
And there's
always
no
a, it's
discount.
always a good thing.
Visa bought a CryptoPunk, right? They didn't get a discount because they're Visa. So everyone has the same skin in the game. Whether if you're a celebrity, if you were a brand,
Yep.
if you didn't buy the NFT the day it dropped, what we call minting it, and you get it for like really cheap, and the price goes up
You gonna
after,
pay.
You gotta pay.
that's capitalism. It's we
Yesterday's
all buying it at
price.
the same price.
Right.
Is that make like for me? Example again, not knowing nothing. I wouldn't buy a McRib NFT because I wouldn't buy a
real
McRib
McRib.
sandwich.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Do
But,
anything.
but then,
But
like,
then again, at
you
the-
know,
at some
people
point-
love McRibs.
Right.
At
That's
some
like
point,
those
it's
are
like a
cult
baseball
favorites.
card. Like that's what I used to
Right.
call an NFT when I first learned about it. A digital baseball
Baseball
card.
card. So Top
That's-
Shots and shit
You
like
did.
that.
At some
Yeah,
point,
see, you got it.
the McRib might just be another baseball card that
Exactly.
you have inside of your baseball card. Like,
Right.
what? I got the Baby Ruth Yankees card. Well, yeah, I got the McRib too. Like, oh, it went up. Oh, let me cash in. Let me
That's
get
like
this money real
the
quick for this
spicy
card.
nuggets, right? Everybody know, like, there's certain foods.
I might buy a
there's cer-
spicy nugget.
You might
NFT.
I'll get a
Spicy
McFlurry.
nuggets.
Hey, if I get an NFT, get McFlurries for
Nah,
life,
nah.
I might do that.
If McDonald's just come with that
Well, the
utility
machine's still
stuff,
not working.
If machine,
But
yeah,
it's
see,
just-
that's
the
the
machine's still not
that's
gonna
the
work.
scam
They
we gotta look
gonna
out for.
say,
The machine's not gonna be broken.
Come on now. We know that again because we know the culture. You can
Yeah,
sell
yeah.
me McFlurries for life. The machine's never
Right.
working.
Definitely. Well, I think. Well, today has been very dope.
That was good.
We've
I
been-
feel,
we've-
I'm like,
We've had a
Rob, me and
hell
you.
of a conversation. I think we learned a lot about the NFT space, also about the crypto space.
but just how it affects our life. That's, like, the opportunity. This is the opportunity right now. This is it.
Yes.
And the
We're
way
on
that
it.
we have a leg up in it, the way that like people of color, we have a leg up into the space when we get into it, we can do really, really well.
About time. I
And
mean,
it's
we still
absolutely-
behind, but we do got a
We're
leg up.
behind,
But it's
but
absolutely accessible
Definitely.
to all of us.
Oh.
Was that right on time?
That's the
That was right on
SEC
time, but-
regulation.
Hey, that was good.
But yeah,
Positive
like I
note.
think it's
Yeah.
accessible. I think it's something that we should not be afraid of. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not so scary today.
You got a little bit more info.
Come on.
I got a little bit more
Stick
info, a
that
little bit
together.
more
to the game.
coverage.
But it's the way it's
I
explained
can't wait
to it's
come
the way it's
back
explained to
and be
people.
like, bitch is popping right now. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait.
I'm glad because the terminology scare a lot of people more
Yeah.
than they should. When the
Agreed.
big words start flying around,
Agreed.
fungible token,
Yeah, I hate that.
Decentralized and all of this. But when you get to explain it to a person like it was smoking a blunt, like, man, roll that up and let me show you. It's a
Exactly.
little bit different for the people like us. But this is Mining Your Diamonds, a podcast where we get all up in your business because we are all about business. Appreciate y'all stopping by.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you,
Yes.
Rob, for coming
Yes.
through for sure.
Thank you,
thank you,
Spreading the
thank
It's
you.
knowledge.
been great. I mean,
Thank you for having me.
We
Yes.
definitely could talk for another
Yes,
20
social. Any
minutes.
social handles? Do you have anything you want to tell a camera? Any businesses? Any IG, Twitter, Facebook? Please let them know what the handles are.
Nah, y'all know where to find me at Rob Markman everywhere. But I'm really just here for the game and the
Ow.
conversation, man.
No, we want people to be
anything
a-
after that is a bonus.
Nah, that we want people to know exactly who you are.
This the first time, man. I've interviewed this man so many times, man. And to see him in this seat, to see him doing this thing, to see all y'all doing y'all thing is amazing.
Thank
Key,
you.
I've known for years. Beef, I've known for
Yep.
years. Me and Melanie have mutual friends. Like, this feels like a comfortable space. I'm a fan of the show. And I wish y'all success.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
I hope we can have more conversations like that. Melanie, what about
Yeah,
you?
thank you so much for having me here on social. I'm Melanie, MELKNEE, MELKNEE. And also follow Blurred Lines. It's like an international community where we talk about left of center music, Web3. And I feel like a year from now at this table, we'll probably be doing events around the world in the Metaverse, partnerships, record labels, who knows what. So
Yes.
yeah, this
That's
is
what's
our
up.
time. This is our time. So
Yes.
thank you so
Right.
much for having me here.
Thank you. And
Follow
this is
Mining
great.
Diamonds on Instagram.
Yep.
_ Mining
Twitter.
Diamonds.
Join
Twitter.
us on Discord. We can carry the conversation on.
We out here.
Thank you. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you.